Among the Hidden, Chapter 13. He had forgotten what fresh air felt like, filling his nostrils and lungs. It felt good. With his back pressed against the house, he stood still for a moment, just breathing. All the months he'd spent inside suddenly seemed like a dream. He'd been like some confused animal hibernating during nice weather. The last real thing that had happened to him was being called inside when the woods were coming down. Real life was outdoors. But so was danger, and the longer he stayed out, the greater the danger. He forced himself down into a crouch and half crawled, half ran alongside the house and the hedges in the barn. I think this is a good example of him being timid, like forcing himself into a crouch. At the back edge of the barn, he hesitated, staring into the seemingly endless gulf between the barn and the trees and the boundary between his backyard and the sports family. Everybody's gone, he told himself. There's not a soul around to see you. Still, he waited, staring at the blades of grass just beyond his feet. He'd been taught all his life to fear open spaces like the one in front of him. It faced dozens of windows. He'd never stepped foot in any place that public, even if it was deserted. So again, he's being cautious and waiting. Still hidden by the barn, he made himself inch his foot forward and then drew it back. Another example of timid. He turned around and looked at his family's house, so safe and secure, his sanctuary. He heard his mother's voice in his head. Luke, inside, now! It seemed so real. He remembered something he'd read in one of the old books in the attic about telepathy. Supposedly, if people really loved you, they could call out to you from miles away if you were in danger. He should go back. He'd be safe there. Unconfident. He took a deep breath, looking forward toward the sports family's house and then back again toward his own. He thought about returning home, trudging up the worn stairs and going back to his familiar room and the walls he stared at every day. Suddenly he hated his house. It wasn't a sanctuary. It was a prison. Before he had time to think again, he pushed himself off into a sprint, recklessly streaking across the grass. He didn't even stop to hide at any of the trees. He ran right to the sports family's door and tugged at the screen. It was locked. So I think this is the first time that we're starting to see a little change in Luke. He's normally very cautious and careful, but today he's kind of reckless. And I think his anger is causing him to act without thinking and just go, and kind of daring too. All right, have a great day.